Hello again, Rangers Nation. Sean Furfaro here in our Rogers TV studio for This Week in Rangers Nation. I'm excited to bring you this week's episode. We've got Joe Birch coming up and a lot of exciting things here in our town. It was a great opening weekend for the Kitchener Rangers. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Friday night, it would be the home opener for the Kitchener Rangers, the Brantford Bulldogs in town. Always a party at the odd on home opener night. It was the Brantford Bulldogs who would get on the board first off a rebound here. Aidan O'Donnell pots his first at 7:03. Less than 2 minutes after that, the Bulldogs would go up 2-0 on Joshua Avery's first goal. That came at the 9-minute mark. Into the second period, we would go. Lucas Moore picks up the goal here. Avery and Testa with the assist, just like that. The Bulldogs are up 3-0, and we would go into the third until Cameron Arquette would break the shutout bid, getting his first of the year from Hayden Ellis. That came at the 4:20 mark. And then Cameron Arquette again, who had had some great opportunities all game, on a pass from Jakub Kromiak. Right here, gets a beautiful goal, his second of the game, and just like that, it's 3-2. Then check out this pass from Matthias Stark, and between the legs from Tanner Lamb, he ties it up on the power play with under 5 minutes to play. Into overtime, we would go, and the man who tied the game up, Tanner Lamb, look at this individual effort, finds the lane, cuts the angle, goes over, falling down over the shoulder into the top corner, falls down, knocks the net off, overtime winner, 4-goal comeback in overtime, just like the storybook planned.
Right from that game, the Rangers would head on the bus to Erie. No rest for the wicked. Saturday night at the Erie Insurance Arena. No scoring in the first. Right here, you're going to see a great pass from behind the net from Matthias Stark. Hayden Ellis on the power play picks up his first of the year. The Rangers are up 1-0. Then shorthanded, Matthias Stark pokes the puck away, goes on a 2-on-0 breakaway, whiffs on the shot, but recovers for a wide open cage on the other side. It's the rare steal, then whiff, then bury. Shorthanded for Matthias Stark, and the Rangers are up 2-0. Into the third period, we would go, and the Erie Otters would get on the board. Garrett Fraser scores, gets his first of the year, wide open in front here. That's my tribute to Sean Bednard from the Erie Otters. And then the Rangers would seal the deal. A gassed Rangers team playing only 3 lines. Seal the deal with an empty net goal. Look at this. Matthias Stark wins the foot race. Just bink right in at the end there. Great work. 3-1 final for the Rangers, and they end up with a 2-0 record after opening weekend. A couple of things stood out to me after this opening weekend. Obviously, this was much nicer than last year. You remember the Rangers started off 0-2, with the second one being on the road in Windsor, a 12-2 drubbing with the team suffering from food poisoning. But the thing that stood out to me on Friday night was resilience. This team was down 3-0 with 16 minutes left to play, but just as we saw last year, this team has no quit. A third period comeback for the ages. And on opening night, remember, this is the night where the players come out before. They all get introduced before the game to fanfare and flames and everything on the ice. For the players that haven't played on a Friday night at the odd before, the nerves would be through the roof. And Jussi Ahokas actually said it in the post-game interview with me after the game. He said, I didn't prepare the young guys well enough for this, but they still came back. So what stood out to me on Saturday for this Rangers team was conditioning. As I mentioned in the highlight package, this team only played 3 lines all weekend long, only 9 forwards. Those guys were gassed by the end of the third period, but they found a way to hold on. Resilience and conditioning, what a great opening weekend for the Rangers. Let's look at my 3 stars from the weekend. My third star was the man who had the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal. Here he is right here. Tanner Lamb accepting first star honors on Friday night. One of the most skilled players in this league. He showed you why on Friday night with 2 highlight reel goals, one between the legs and one falling down in overtime. My second star was the guy who got the Rangers on the board in the third period, Cameron Arquette. This guy had some great opportunities all game long. He finally buried 2 of them to give some life to the Rangers and to the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium crowd. And my first star of the weekend was Jason Schabel. 2 wins, 2 starts, a 2-0 record, .938 save percentage, and a 2.00 goals against average. You may see 1.99 somewhere, but it's actually rounded up to 2. Unbelievable work from Jason Schabel. Really doing a great job in the opening weekend. So much so that he was named OHL Goaltender of the Week. You saw that graphic right there. OHL Goaltender of the Week, Jason Schabel. Unbelievable work. Let's take a look at the Midwest Division standings and the conference standings. Now, I normally don't show the standings this early in the season, but I am going to take a little bit of personal satisfaction in looking at the Kitchener Rangers in first place and the London Knights in fourth place. So this one is more for me than for you, but let's take a look at the conference standings as well. Windsor Spitfires up top tied with the Rangers, but technically in first place by virtue of 2 regulation victories. Obviously, very early in the season. And reminder that all of these teams were doing this in the opening season without a lot of the players that were still at NHL development camp or NHL training camps. So let's update you on some of the players, because as we record this on Tuesday this week, you're going to see this on Friday or later this week. A few players have been returned to the Rangers. Christian Kirsch is back from San Jose. Christian Humphreys is back from Colorado. We're expecting big things from Christian Humphreys this year. I spoke to him at practice this morning. He's really excited to be back. We're expecting a big year from Christian Humphreys. The players that are still away as of this time are Jack Pridham, Cameron Reed, Jack Pridham with Chicago, Cameron Reed with Nashville, and Luke Ellenis with the Ottawa Senators. Everybody has been returned other than those 3. And I have a feeling we might see Jack Pridham back by the time you're watching this. And Jack Pridham is going to be playing in his first NHL preseason game tonight. Blackhawks against the Detroit Red Wings. We're expecting big things from Jack Pridham this year. I spoke to him last night. He's very excited for the game tonight. He's very excited to be back here in Kitchener. Another player that is back for the Rangers and looked fantastic at practice this week is Luca Romano. Luca Romano was at training camp with the Islanders, and I want to show you a highlight from something that happened on Sunday night. The New York Islanders went to a shootout with the Detroit Red Wings. Luca Romano here is the 10th shooter for the Islanders in the shootout, and look at this move. Absolutely undresses the goaltender, our own Lindsay Eastwood with the Philadelphia Flyers. What do you think of that? Luca Romano, unbelievable. There's a second look at it. And what an amazing weekend for Luca Romano to have a goal like this. And I'll tell you why. Every year, our friends, every game rather, our friends at Rangers Reach have a jersey raffle. And Friday night, the jersey was Luca Romano. And let me show you who won that jersey. Right there. I won the jersey. Luca Romano jersey, adding to my list of Italian player jerseys that I own. And somebody said to me last week, they said, you're really lucky with the jerseys. I've won 3 jerseys in my lifetime, and I spend $20 every game. I did the math on over 400 games. I've spent over $8,000 on 3 jerseys. So if you think that's lucky, I've got some swampland for you. Anyways, it's great to have all these guys back. One of the guys who's not back, but we expect to see back, here's a message from him, Jack Pridham.
This is Jack Pridham, and you're watching This Week in Rangers Nation.
Here in our Rogers studio, our special guest this week is Chief Operating Officer from the Kitchener Rangers, Joe Birch. Joe, thanks for taking the time to come down here for a chat with me today.
Thanks for having me, Sean. It's exciting to be here at this time of year.
There is so many exciting things to talk about, and we're going to talk about all of them. But the first thing I want to talk about, the news came out on Tuesday. I am absolutely thrilled. I've been waiting for this. The level of legacy. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, you know what, Sean? It's been a while in the planning now, and we're super proud to be able to recognize 2 incredible figures in Ranger history and Ranger organization, in Peter DeBoer and Brian Bellows. And the legacy, the level of legacy came to be with being able to recognize individuals who not only in their craft, so Pete in coaching and general managing, and certainly Brian in playing and on ice, but also what they did for our culture and our environment, and leaving a lasting impression on who we are today. And we just couldn't think of 2 better people to bring back here. They both will be here on their respective nights. But we couldn't be more proud to bring back 2 incredible people and recognize them and raise their banners to the rafters where they deserve to be.
And I think you said it there. I think that's what's important to me. A lot of teams or a lot of sports will acknowledge players or individuals for what they've done on the field of play. And I think it's really important that you mentioned that this is about culture and about legacy, because you don't get it if you're not in Kitchener. It's bigger than hockey here. It's the people that really create this legacy, right?
And you know, and what triggered it for us in seeing this was when Brian was here, when we recognized the 81-82 team for the 40th celebration. And I'm sure Brian won't mind me saying this, but he got out on the ice and he addressed the crowd. And when he walked off the ice, he had tears in his eyes. And it was that moment where I just sort of stood back with others and said, wow, what an impact this fan base and this community has on individual people. And Pete, I mean, boy, our organization really stepped forward to the forefront to where we are today. And some really incredible people, and Steve Biankowski and Ted Scarf hired Pete. And we are all where we are today because of people like Pete and Brian, and we're really proud to acknowledge that.
Pretty exciting. Peter DeBoer, Level of Legacy, November the 7th. Brian Bellows on January the 9th, and they're going to be here for those ceremonies, right?
They will be here in person. They're both actually rounding up guests and family and other things, and we can't wait to have them.
That's exciting. So that's the big news this week. Last week, it was obviously opening night. All the work in the off-season to get to opening night, independent of construction, and you and your admin team did so much, and everything was great. You're opening the store as well. How proud are you of your team for how they all came together for opening night?
Teamwork makes the dream work, Sean, as cliche as it might sound. But to Adam Bramhill, who leads our business staff, and all the great extra work and hours that him and Christy and others put in, Chantel from the store, Dan Liebold and our coaching staff through the bumps and time that it took to finish the details of the dressing room renovation.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work. And I applaud Woodhouse, our great partner, in helping us through getting the task finished on time. And but it was exciting, and it's special. I mean, you've seen it, now the public's seen it. We're really proud of what we've done.
So let's talk about that again. I know we've talked about it before, but let's talk about it here. The construction project overall, the admin offices, the new room downstairs, everything. What was the impetus for it? What was the why?
Well, I've been pretty open with it. Two drivers: recruitment and retention. We're in a brand new landscape in today's day and age with relating to hockey players and why they may come to an organization, and then why they may choose to stay in an organization. And prior to the rule change, which took place in November of last year, in and around the spring, we started to have discussions saying, not if this rule change is going to happen, but when.
Yeah.
And when it does, what's within our control to ensure that we still get the very best players and we remain an elite CHL organization. And so one thing sort of unfolded to another by expanding the dressing room, and then needing a new office space, and then needing a new media room. So they were all triggered together. And to the credit of our board, they've supported the investment, and we're really, really excited.
Well, it was ambitious, and it certainly is awesome, and it came through in flying with flying colors. I know one of the things that maybe played into that, I know you say it's those two things, but also maybe bidding on an event coming up in 2027. Let's talk about that, because it's official. We've talked about it for a couple of years. Now it's official. It's between you and Guelph for the Memorial Cup in 2027. Why do you feel now's the right time?
Yeah, you know what, those are part of it, but the reality is, if we're successful, the dressing room would only be for the Rangers, for our team, in participating in the event. The business office would only be for our business staff or host organization committee. The media room, and let's not forget that the city is also renovating and adding what's going to be a fantastic restaurant, amazing for our fan experience, and the store. Those three pieces would become parts of an element for, if we're successful, to win the bid. The why and the why now, I've said it, we've been building our hockey team since April of 2023, and we have the core that we really believe is strong enough. We'll have to support with possibly adding some depth players. The building, 2008 was the last time we hosted. We all know what we did in 2012 and added 1,100 or so seats in the blue section, and now we've done what we've done here in this offseason. And the fans deserve it. I'm sure that our fans have wondered why and why not, and sometimes you just got to get everything to align. And and we believe we've done that. And so now's the time.
So we've got this convergence. Everything is going great. What's the process from this point forward? Right now, it's the last week of September. I know the official presentation is coming. What's the timeline for that and the decision?
Yeah, so now we have to, through Steve Biankowski and his leadership of being the chair of the host organization committee, we'll finish off the submission of the entire bid, which is a very extensive package that has several key components that have to be met. That'll get submitted. After that, the selection committee will actually be here November the 13th, and they will interview us, tour our facility. They'll evaluate even further the bid itself, and by the last week of November, early part of December, we should have an answer.
What do you anticipate the influx, if we were to be successful in gaining the Memorial Cup, of funds into the community outside of the arena?
Well, I mean, I believe it's reported that the 2008 had a $15 million economic impact. So that was a long time ago, 20 years ago. Saginaw reported somewhere in the $40 million range. We believe it'll be over 15. Do I think it'll be 40? Probably not. We think somewhere in the $25 million impact in the region to local restaurants, hotels, shops, vendors, whatever the case might be.
So a huge impact, like
huge
massive.
Impact, massive impact for not just, and I've said this all along, it's not about the Rangers, because in fact there's very little, if any, profit for the hockey club.
And that's where I was going next, is because I don't think a lot of people realize that when you host the Memorial Cup, this is not a cash cow for the team. This is something that's a CHL event that's distributed among the teams, correct?
Among 60 teams.
Yeah.
So it's not about the hockey club. It's about being great CHL partners, showcasing the region, showcasing the facility, showcasing our great fans who are passionate hockey fans, and then also driving a significant economic impact to local business.
When you talk about economic impact as well, I mean, the Rangers just had record growth.
Yes.
And I was really pleased to see that report. I know you were really pleased to report that report.
Yeah, yes.
So tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, and again, I can't stop thinking and thanking our fans, because it's driven by ticket revenue. And so each year, post-pandemic, our average attendance numbers has continued to increase by 300 or 250, 400 fans. And we did a record number in ticket revenue. We returned to post-pandemic sponsorship levels. We had a record store revenue. So all of it's driven by our passionate fans. Now, part of that is our organization has done a really good job in ensuring the fan experience is second to none. Our organization has done a really good job ensuring that the on-ice product is second to none. So we can get people in the building, they have a wonderful experience, they enjoy the on-ice product. Hopefully they want to come back, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
One thing I know about you is there's never a ceiling, you're never complacent, so there's obviously room for growth.
Yeah.
Where is that room for growth?
It's still in tickets. We still believe that there's a capacity there that we can really try to push 7,000 fans a night. We averaged just around 6,600 last year, so we believe we can, if not get to 769 is sort of our internal goal, and that would have a great impact on ticketing. I believe finding new sponsorship assets is something that I know that I've challenged our team with, and whether it's more digital assets, it's online presence, we've sold the media naming room rights, and I don't think that it's cold or callous or cheap or anything. It's being creative, and that's what we have to do. We got to get creative and continue to try to push the bar.
Yeah, I've told Mike McKenzie and I have joked about this. There's 2 Chipotle's opening in town. I think it would look great on the ice. I think it would look great on the ice somewhere. I know that recently you got to connect with another member of the Ranger family in Steve Spott. I know you took the team down to Boston. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. So my son's hockey team, we decided instead of just playing some exhibition games locally or whatnot, there's a great photo. And couple of OHL alumni in there, Wayne Primo and Michael Little, who actually played with Tyler Spott for the Toronto Marlboros. And when we went to Boston, I reached out to Spotter. It was actually in preparation for Pete DeBoer's night. And I said to Spotter, I said, are you around, this weekend? And he was. And so he was kind enough to actually show us the Bruins practice facility. But even more kinder was the fact that he came and talked to our kids. And the one thing about Spotter that we all know and love is he's really passionate and really genuine about messaging and the importance of being a good person.
He sure is.
And it was nice. It's great to connect with him and see him, and I look forward to seeing him on the 7th.
Yeah, once a Ranger, always a
You
Ranger.
got
We
it.
say it all the time, right?
That's right.
Speaking of that, once a Ranger, always a Ranger, you're a former player, and when we did this tour, I saw something in your office. So let's take a look at this,
Oh,
because
boy.
you told me a story about this jersey. So let's go through the story again.
Okay, so the story is, and that's our old warm-up jerseys, okay, from 1995. And Old South is a concentrated orange juice. I've had to remind in reference to young people of what it is. It's not Old Spice, but these are old, thick, heavy jerseys, and we wore them just to give context. And I got an email one day from a fan in Saskatoon, and the fan just said, "Hello, Mr. Birch. I'm just wondering if this jersey has any value, if it has any value of it at all to you." And I responded back and I said, "Yes, it does, but I'm the only person that it has value to, because it's mine." And I said, I would love to purchase it from you. And right now our warm-up jerseys, we put them out on an online auction starting at minimum $200. So I said, I will purchase it from you for $200 if that's the case. And he said, "Sure." I only bought it for $75 at a local auction. And so just as I'm about to hit send on the money, my wife says, "Joe, this could be a scam." And I said, "Katie," I said, "this would be a heck of a scam."
High-level scam.
High-level
bootleg
scam.
Joe Birch jerseys from
You
Western
got it.
Canada.
Hard to find. And so I actually FaceTimed the gentleman. And as he walked me through his home to show me the jersey, he was passing other jerseys that he collected along the way. And
So it was
he
legit.
showed it to me. It was legit. And I hit send, and I had it in the mail about 4 days later. But it's I remember signing the jersey.
It's great.
It's part of who I am, of being a Ranger.
We joked about it, and the fact that so many people on that tour didn't know what Old South was. And
I
I
know.
immediately said it
I
was
know.
concentrated orange juice.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
fun fact, so Old South was started in 1939. In 2000, it was bought by McCain.
Oh my goodness.
But there are still places in Canada you can buy Old South orange juice. And I'll have you know, I looked so hard to have
have one today?
An Old South orange juice for you today. But I'll have one for you by the end of the
Well,
season.
we'll have
That's
to
all
make
I
a deal.
know.
Wherever we travel, if you or I find an Old South concentrated orange juice, make sure you buy
We're
one.
going to do because,
Yeah.
Old South.
Pretty special, though.
Old South.
Yeah.
Joe, thanks for taking time with us. Continued success, and I look forward to seeing you around the ring.
My pleasure, Sean. I appreciate all you do and telling our story, so thank you.
Thank you.
Time for another edition of 10 Questions with Sean. I'm here with Christian Humphreys. 52 cards, 52 questions. He's cut the deck. Here we go, Christian. The first 10 questions off the top. It's karaoke night with the team. Who do you not want to see on stage?
Jason Schaubel.
Which is your favorite Ranger jersey to wear? White, blue, or red?
I love the red.
What was your very first concert?
Zach Bryan.
Question number 4. Which player has the best fashion sense?
Cromie.
Jakob Kromiak.
He's
I
got
like that.
good, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. Where do you tape your stick pregame?
Either mostly in the stands, top lad.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I don't know. I don't know what the weirdest thing I've ever eaten is.
All right, it's still to come.
Yeah, we'll go back to that one.
Question number 7. What is your dream car?
Lamborghini.
Country music or rap music?
Depends, both.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
Probably Latch.
And last question, which teammate can you trust the most?
Probably Rome's.
All right, we'll go back. Weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
I don't know. We had maybe deer. I don't know.
Special thanks to Joe Birch for coming in as our guest on This Week in Rangers Nation. In that interview, Joe talked about some of the improvements in the player facility. I got to tour the entire facility. I want to show you this video. I did a full walkthrough. The players actually come in from the parking lot right here. You see the logo on the glass. To the left is the players' lounge. I didn't take you in there. That's their space. This is a wall of historic moments, which I'll actually show you a bit more after we go across the hall to the weight room and the gym. And this is really revolutionary here at the Odd. Their training facility was downstairs, so it was quite a bit away from the room. Now they've got this right here for all their fitness testing, all their workouts. It's an amazing space for these guys. It's NHL caliber. Look at these weights on this side. Perfect blue and red Rangers colors with the Rangers logo on it. Pretty impressive. I know the guys are going to be spending a lot of time in here. So back out into the hallway we go. You'll get a quick look at marketing director, our communications director, Luca Lombardi right there. Thanks, Luca, for all your help. This wall of history is motivation for the players when they go in. Look at this. Luke Ellenis' comeback goal. The sweep of Windsor, Mike Petizian, OHL championship and 2 Memorial Cups. This is motivation for the players as soon as they walk in the facility. On the right, you've got the captain's wall. You've got the players that have been at the World Juniors, all these historic plaques. You've got the championship years here. And then into the room. This is the players' room. Now, for those of you that have never been in here before, it's pretty magnificent. All the stalls have the names of players who have been in there before on name plaques in the back. There's been some fresh coats of paint in here, but this is essentially the same room that the Rangers had in the past. There's the shower area in there, but here, this is the one big change. The logo was always right here on the ground. People are like, it's under the carpet, and I'm like, nope, it's up top. They've moved it to a lit logo up top. Nobody can step on the logo anymore. I think it's a really professional look. Outside here, you're going to go down the hallway. You're going to look. The coaches area is on the right. You'll see UC Ahokas right there, working on some things. Down here, you're going to go. That's Nick Lichty's medical training room. To the left, you have Mike McKenzie's office and Dan Liebold's office, the sauna, the hot tub, the cold tub, and then back here, this is essentially the same. You might have seen this on some of our features in the past. This is the area where the players gather before they head to the ice, where legend and legacy live. The blue Gatorade right by the door. This was formerly a silver door, now double glass frosted door. And that's where the Rangers make their way to the ice. That's a quick little tour of the new facility for you. Unbelievable work by the Woodhouse Group and the Kitchener Rangers. Now, I want to update you on a couple of Rangers that are no longer with us, that have graduated and moved on. Cameron Mercer and Chris Grisolia. We got a great photo of them together from our friend Tiffany Luke. Cameron Mercer is going to be playing in the AUS at St. FX for the X-Men, where he will be reunited with former teammate and line mate Antonino Pugliese. Chris Grisolia, meanwhile, will be in the same conference with Mercer, but he's going to be playing for the St. Mary's Huskies, where he will be playing with former Kitchener Rangers Reed Vlad and also Marcus Vandenberg. So, aside from those guys, remember we've got Jack Harper and Joseph Serpa at Dal. We're obviously going to update you on the Rangers out east. One Ranger that's locally playing for U Sports is Tristan Malbuff. He's still starting a net for the Laurier Golden Hawks. They had a 5-4 victory over the University of Guelph Griffins earlier this week. I saw him. It was great to catch up with Tristan Malbuff. Let's preview the games coming up tonight right after this game. It's the Erie Otters. It's the back end of a six-day home-and-home series. We got a great logo. Don't be alarmed. This is First Responders Night. This is Sirens right here. Great work, Ryan Livera, on this graphic. And then tomorrow night, the Rangers will be on the road in Owen Sound at the Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center. Back-to-back nights. Thanks again, Lux Appeal, Mark and Alana, for always keeping the lettuce tight up top. We'll see you next week on This Week in Rangers Nation.
The following program was provided by a valued member of our local community. Rogers TV is proud to support local producers and share local voices, ideas, and opinions. For more information, please visit our website.
The Quintessence Coalition brings you immersive experiences and conscious collaborations from artists across the country. Don't miss the sights, sounds, and spirits of the Quintessence Coalition. Saturdays at 8:30 p.m.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy.